Hi, and welcome to the White Family Creative Corner. Tonight we are going to be making our green juice that I have been doing now for about 3 months, and some of my friends do also. A lot of people have asked me to give them the ingredients and stuff. I'm going to go by what I put in it. My friend Patty does a little bit more of each thing. You can do it to your taste and what you like. And also when I first started out, I didn't like celery, so I put a little bit of mashed banana from a blender in, and then took the juice, put it in the blender, and that way they were kind of overshadowed all the rest of the flavors. And then I worked my way up into celery. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Like I said, everybody's different. Everybody puts their own amount of stuff in. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the ingredients. What I've done is I've got it all ready to go, and that way there, you didn't have to watch me peel and cut and all that. So this is our apples that we have. We did 5 apples tonight. We have 2 lemons and 1 lime. You can do all lemons if you like. We have ginger root peeled. We have 5 stalks of celery. We have almost 3 cucumbers. I had to save a piece for another juice that I'm doing. And then we have a half a bag of kale greens, and we'll have this other half of spinach. And the kale greens we've washed, and they're waiting right here in our colander. So what I do with my juicer is I have a Jack LaLanne juicer, and we bought one of these little wooden things from Martin's that pulls out and in, and I just bring it over the lip of the sink, and I have a little thing up here to make it more flat, and we put our bucket right here, and that way it's easier. You don't have to keep pouring into a bigger bucket. Also, a tip that I learned from my friend Patty that I juice for how long and never did this. If you just save your produce bags from the store, you can put them in the back for easy cleanup on the Jack LaLanne juicers. And that just goes under there. We're going to get started, and I'm going to start out with the kale greens. Sometimes with the greens, you might clog up your juicer a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to grab a little cup out here, and sometimes I just run some water through, or you can put a piece of cucumber or a piece of apple or something more watery through to get it to go. So this might be a little loud, but I'm going to start this up, and we may have to cut the film and then come back if it takes a little too long. But I just want you to get an idea. How I do the kale is I really bunch it up in my hand before I put it in, and then I just take it and I put all this in the shoot at once. Oops, sorry, I missed a piece there. And then I put this in and put it in. Now you won't get a whole lot of juice from the kale, from the spinach. Wow, that's getting loud, sorry. Let me take that out. From the kale and the spinach. But this is the juice, this is the part that's really good for you, is the green juice. And what I'll do is I'll do a little bit of this kale, and then I'll do something else so that you can see it. And we'll probably have to cut back while I cut the film, and then come back while I wash the spinach and stuff, so it doesn't take so long. But that gives you an idea of how much you see I'm putting in of the kale. That was a whole colander full, and I'll do it so that you can see how much juice you actually get from that much kale. What's going to give you a lot of your juice is your cucumbers and of course your apples. The lemons and lime give a lot of juice. So while it looks like you're not getting much right now, it will fill, this should fill my ½ gallon jug that I have. And just a little tip and hint while I'm finishing up here is if you're going to make more juice than what you're going to drink in about a 2 to 3 day span at the most, make sure that you leave a little bit. Let me just grab a jar. When you fill it only to like right here, and then freeze it because you need to leave space for it to freeze. I try to only make as much as I'm going to drink unless it's a specialty like a beaten apple juice. I do have some of those frozen. But that's just a little tip and hint. Make sure right after you make your juice that you have a great big one. Put some ice cubes in it if you don't like it when it's not cold. And get to drinking that juice right off, because that first juice is going to be the best juice. So I'm going to do a little bit of celery here. I put my celery stalks in whole, but you don't have to. And then I just kind of hold the tops of them so they get shorter. And as you see, you do get a lot of juice from celery too. And I'm just going to keep shutting this off because I don't want it to get too noisy. I'm going to take that off so we don't have to listen to that. And maybe I'm just going to keep going and I'll quickly wash the spinach here. Just to show you some of the spinach. And then we'll go from there. I'll just wash it quickly like this. I don't take a lot of time washing the spinach and kale because it is triple washed already. But I do like to just give it a little rinse before I put it into my juicer. Okay, and so I'll show you, this is how much juice you'll get from the spinach. As you see, you get a little bit more from the spinach than you do the kale. Oops, I think I just dropped the leaf right inside my juice. I did. Just pick that out at the end when it gets closer to the top. And again, I'm really bunching this spinach in here just because I'm trying to not take up so much time, so I'm really filling my shoe. This is my Jack LaLanne juicer that I just picked up off River Valley Swap. Mine was starting to have issues, so I just bought this from a friend. Got a great deal on it for 30 bucks. It will be greatly used and loved. Okay, so that did up my spinach. As you see, I did that pretty quick because I put it in by big handfuls. Now, I'm going to show you guys how much juice you get from a cucumber. This one has both ends cut off. And when I put in a cucumber, I try to be pretty fast because I want to pick this up because the juice comes out very fast from this. You just want to make sure you get it all and that it's not going all over the place. But you can see how much juice, that was just from that small cucumber. And we'll go with, we'll throw in, I'm going to do a lime and a lemon right now. I just kind of like to do all, after the leaves are done, you can pretty much do it in any order. Now I know when my friend Patty makes her juice, she uses a lot more lemons than I do, but she makes about a gallon at a time, and I believe she uses like 6 or 7 lemons. I like to put in a lime just so it doesn't make it really too lemony, but again, that's going to be to each of everybody's taste on what they like. I'm going to do some apples. You can do really any kind of apples you like. You can do green apples. I pretty much do whatever's on sale. And as you see, that gives you really good juice too. We'll throw in another cucumber. This is kind of a short little cucumber. Oh, and just another note, you can take the skin off the cucumber if you want to, but there's a lot of collagen and good stuff in the cucumber skin, so I leave mine on. Some people have a reaction to cucumber skin, so you can peel yours if you want. And as you see, my jug's starting to fill up really quick with all the juice from the cucumber. And I'm going to grab a few more apples here. Do a few more apples. I probably should have put my ingredients on this side so I didn't have to keep reaching across. Alright, and I'm going to throw in some ginger root. I'm going to show you how much ginger root I use to a half a gallon. This is how much, I usually use a little bit less than this. I probably only usually use this. I'm going to be a little bold in the new year, and I'm going to kind of move it up and add that extra chunk. Now my friend Patty uses probably triple of this when she makes her juice. So hers is a lot more ginger than mine. Again, it's to taste. I know I can drink this and I know I can handle it, so this is what I put in. I do make different kind of juice too. I don't just do the green juice. I do juices with carrots, apples. I've got one to try with some cranberries we're going to do after, and a pear, and an apple, and a small piece of cucumber, and so you can do different things in it. As you see, you'd be surprised, but you do get a lot of juice from the ginger root. That was just a little handful. And also, I do have a book where you can save your pulp and you can make stuff out of it. I'm going to try to be better in that in the new year because you have to save it out before. So you have to kind of know what you need, like carrots or cucumbers or whatever. So I am going to try to be better at that this year because we do have a lot of pulp that goes in the bath that we don't do anything with it right now. Boy, that apple was a tough apple. I try not to put too much force on this when I press down. If it doesn't go right off, I kind of just use this kind of motion and push down, because you don't want to make it too much. And this cucumber over here is really big, so I'm going to cut it in two to put it through, because it was a really big long cucumber, and it's thick, so. Alright, I'm going to put this one right through. See how much that you get a lot of liquid out of a cucumber. I believe they're like 80 or 90% water. Okay, I'm going to grab all the rest of the ingredients so I can stop walking in front of you guys. Here comes the last lemon. And got a couple little extra pieces of celery stalk in there, so we'll put that in. And I do the celery leaves that are on the top. I do juice them also. There is juice in those, so it's worth putting down in there. Okay, and we'll end out with a couple apples. And what I do at the end of my juice is I always take not a lot of water. I just take probably, I don't know if you can see that or not, probably like that much. I just put it right through here. And that way it rinses out all the juice that may be in there, so you're not losing out on if there's apple juice or ginger root or whatever you ended with. And so that ends that, and usually every time with what I just showed you for ingredients, every time I come out with a half gallon of green juice. So this is what it looks like, all done. And I'll bring it over here so maybe Kyle can tip the camera down and you can see it. It does kind of have a foam on the top of it. And what I usually do is just to make sure, I'm getting pretty good at now. I know how much stuff to put in and what I like for taste. And but this is what I call my tasting spoon. It's like a gravy spoon. And I just stir this up because you want to make sure that you've mixed everything in together. And make sure you stir it again right before you put it in your jars. And I'm just going to taste test this. Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good ratio. Okay, so when I put my juice and get ready to store it, I use two different size jars. I have the, what I call medium size ball jar, and then I have the smaller ones. The really big, huge ball jars, I only do my watermelon juice in those because that's a lot to drink. When I make sure when I do this, this will be my one. I'm going to put some ice in it right now. And this is going to be the one that I drink right now. So I always fill one for right now. Just let it set a little bit with the ice in it. And I usually fill it, you know, like this for the one that I drink right off. And what I do is I just kind of use the different size jars. I'm going to grab like 3 small and 3 big. And what I've been doing, and I'm going to try to get back on doing, is I drink at least 1 big one a day and at least 1 small one. When you first start out, if you really want a green juice a lot, you can do like 3 of these a day. It does get a little bit pricey though, the more you drink. But once you get situated and you get used to it, I like to at least do 1 of each of these a day. I know my friend Patty uses a lot of these jars. This just makes it a little bit more affordable if this is all you can do. And even if you can get down 1 or 2 of these a day, it will be really worth it. I mean, just look at all the vegetables and fruit we just put in here. And then I just fill these, and I won't be freezing any of these, so I fill them, you know, pretty good. These large ones I do, you know, like just up to where it rounds right there. And the small ones, I fill them pretty full. That way there you're getting as much in them as you can. And I'll fill the rest of these later. But just make sure, just, you know, you just put your lids on. Now, this can, when you put this in the refrigerator, it can settle. It will settle. So it'll be really dark on the bottom. Make sure you shake these up before you drink them, and make sure you keep them refrigerated. So if you take them with you somewhere, use a refrigerated bag with like an ice pack or something. And so that is that recipe for green juice. Let me just finish filling these jars real quick so I can give you an idea on how much. I'll use one more of those, and I'm going to use one more small one. That's just about exact. So what we got out of those vegetables is the one I'm drinking now, then we have 2 more that size, and then we have 4 of the smaller juice jars. So that gives you a good idea that this will last me about 3 days. And that you don't want to go more than that. Like I said, if you're gonna, then you have to freeze it. So thank you. We'll come back and do a really quick juice after. Never tried it with the cranberries. But this is the green juice. If you have any questions or if you do it a little bit different and you want to comment, just let us know. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you.